What's going on, guys? Welcome into a somber first episode of Guardians 216 post-game show. I'm your host, Jacob at Chisholm13, joined by Mr. Roger First and Cuyahoga Falls and Mr. Tyler Johnson. Gentlemen, I know the outcome was not what we wanted, but overall, how are we feeling this evening?
Man, I'm pissed and I'm tired. I'm just being real. Like, I get that people have said that we weren't supposed to be here, so obviously the fact we're here is awesome, and it is, but you're here now, and when you lose, it's painful. So
yeah, right. I mean, it's the same thing as when the Browns were in the playoffs in 2020 and then they won the game and then they lost in KC, and you're like, well, the defense was so bad, we were just playing, on free money. And I was like, yeah, but it still hurt. Like they were still there and you still lost, and it's disappointing. But how do you feel, Roger?
They beat themselves. They out-hit the Yankees. They had 6 hits, but it wasn't opportunistic hits. But the biggest thing, when you look at the line, the 2 errors, and it's uncharacteristic of this young team. The throwing error on the stolen base, the E2, that was huge, and it's so uncharacteristic of him. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's a great defensive catcher. And then to play in right field, if my 7-year-old was watching the game, he could have told Oscar Gonzalez what he did wrong. Because that's what we practice on, getting both hands down, stopping the baseball. You got to stop the ball before it hits that wall, because if it hits that wall, it's over with for you anyway. So you go into a slider, you do whatever you have to do to protect and put your glove and keep that ball down in front of you. But they're young, they're a young team. Oscar Gonzalez and Stephen Kwan aren't up for arbitration until 26. You know what I mean? This ball club. Oscar Gonzalez is going to remember that ball, playing right field, hopefully for the Cleveland Guardians for the next 5 years, his rookie year in the Bronx, and he let that one skip by him. And it's going to make him a better baseball player. They're young. I'm not losing my mind. I'm just not losing my mind on it. And it's game 1. It's a 5-game series. Anything can happen. If we could take one tomorrow in the Bronx and come home, we got a shot to beat them.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of it, I believe it was 8 runners left on base tonight, including some situations where, it's one thing if every time you get a runner on base, there's already 2 outs and you're kind of behind the 8 ball already, trying to do a bunch of clutch 2-out hitting. I can understand some things like that, but that's not what everything was like. You had some situations, especially early, because you look at what did Cole throw, 23 or 24 pitches in the first inning, and I understand, so you're going into the second inning, he's already got 24 pitches, and then they started, they still worked him a little bit in the second and third, and then all of a sudden he started kind of going through a few innings there, and he got back in a rhythm, and you had some opportunities and some situational hitting that just didn't come through today. You got 8 players on base. That is at least a plus. Like Nick and I were doing the Barkings Brown show live at the beginning of this, and Nick pointed out that early on they were up 1-0 and they had a couple of runners on, and they had the opportunity in that inning, in the first 2 innings of this game, to outscore what they did in the entire wild card round against the Rays. So some opportunities are there. You got to find a way for some more opportunistic hitting. And, I like their chances because I still like their pitching. But, I mean, you handled Aaron Judge tonight. You didn't let him beat you. So that was – there's some pluses there. But, yeah, it definitely leaves at least a sour taste.
Yeah, and kind of going off what Roger said with Kwan and Gonzalez not being arbitration eligible until 2026 – you really got to start, if you can, to follow the method the Braves are using, and they're getting their players under control early and giving – now, and these are longer contracts, so it takes 2 to tango, but I'm going to Stephen Kwan and seeing if he's taking a contract right now. I'm trying to buy some of these guys out so you can keep them long term, because you're just at a point you got to keep as much talent as you can. Like, and I know it's not arbitration eligible for a while, and there's risk that comes along with that.
Right.
But at the same time, it's worked out for the Braves so far. It's worked out for the Padres with Fernando Tatis outside of the suspension he's serving.
Right.
The Guardians need to start doing that. You have to start doing that and start keeping some of your young talent.
Roger, as we go into game 2, which is scheduled to be another 7:37 pitch, and I made a joke today. I was like, why can't you just be a normal time? Like, in college football does this too. Like, because I work at Ohio University and I work the the football games, and I do the parking and stuff, and like I get an itinerary of everything that's going to happen for the actual football game, and it'll be like a 2:00 kick, and it'll be like 2:03 kickoff. I'm like, why? You knew it can be 2:00. Why are we doing silly things like that? But anyway, we're going Thursday night, and there's the rumor that it could get delayed. Some weather coming up that way and whatnot, so it could be a Friday night. So either way, you've got the off day. Where is your focus if you're Terry Francona, Roger? Like, what is it? Are you focusing on cleaning up the defensive mistakes, because as you said, that's very uncharacteristic of this ball club? Or are you trying to find a way to get the more clutch hits, the more situational hits? Where's the main focus for you? Like, do you think the defense should be addressed before the offense, or do you think that the defense can take care of itself because it's been their calling card for a lot of the year?
First of all, I know a podcast that had crazy start times. And the guy that ran this podcast would be like, "Oh, it's 8:09 and 30 seconds we're starting." I remember that.
It still happens.
You know what? I think Tito's got to keep them focused on just in all of it. You know what I mean? What got him there? What has got you there? You know what I mean? And just keep playing baseball and having fun. But it's a different level of focus on that ground ball in right field, or the ball hit to right field, or to throw to second base. October's a different mindset, and they've never experienced it except for, Jose Ramirez and they just have to get locked in and do what got them to where they're at, right now. They clean up, like you said, will the defense take care of itself? I don't think that's how they address things. I think they're going to attack it and go after it, and fix the things that got, and do what got them there, the little things.
And I think along with that is you're a young ball club. There's no doubt about it. But you're now at the point, this is game 2, and you need to you saw what the atmosphere was like tonight.
Yeah.
Put it out of your mind and just go play your game, because you could tell it started to get to Quantrill a little bit. You could just tell. You could tell. And there was a point I was wondering if Terry was going to yank him a little bit earlier, and I thought he should have, but he didn't. And he ended up giving up that homer to Anthony Rizzo. But this is a team that we've seen him perform all year. I mean, again, this is also, we weren't supposed to be here. If we're being we weren't. But you're here now. You're here, and you have talent to go win this series. You have to play your game, though. In the first inning, what we did a great job of, and even in the second, third, you made Garrett Cole throw a lot of pitches. Garrett Cole is normally one of the best pitchers in baseball. You got to him a little bit. You got him a little bit rattled. He did settle down. You can do that to these Yankees pitchers, and you get to that bullpen. Like, if you get to this bullpen early in maybe the 4th inning, 5th inning on game 2, you're going to give yourself a good chance to win, because this Yankee bullpen is decimated right now with injuries. Obviously, Aroldis Chapman's not there. So that's what you have to do to win this game. And I think, honestly, I need Austin Hedges out of the lineup. If he can't consistently throw guys out. Now, okay, you're not supposed to throw out every base runner that's trying to steal. But, dude, his throws weren't even accurate. If that's not going to be the case, you can't play him, because that's the one reason you have him in the game, because he can't hit. So,
he the yips. I don't know what's wrong, because but Yeah, he's not even close.
Yeah.
You know, and what you said, they had Garrett Cole on the ropes, and I've seen him all year finish a pitcher like that. You know, where they started hitting the ball and they're spraying the ball, and then all of a sudden, like Jacob said, the next guy, there's guys on base, and they're swinging for the fences. You know, instead of doing what got them there and start moving them runners around the bases. You know, and they just started all taking big swings.
Yeah, and how many of these amazing Guardians games that wins that we've seen this year, right? The exciting ones, the come from behind. How many of those were on the back of home runs? Like it's like no, you know what I mean? Like know know yourself, right? Like why are you swinging for the fences in a 2-1 game? You don't have to go crazy swinging for the fences if you're not a home run artist, so to speak, is what I'm getting at. It just seemed like at a certain point they kind of got out of their game a little bit in the way they were trying to execute and finish, finish in the terms of bringing runners home.
Yeah, and that's the problem, man. I mean, with this is you're in a situation, you're in playoff baseball now. You made it here. You're not a home run hitting team. You just got it. You can't strand runners on base. And I tweeted it out. I said, I had a feeling leaving bases low is going to come back to haunt us, and it did. In the playoffs, you can't do that. You have to get at least one run in from that. You have to find a way to do it. If that's a suicide squeeze, whatever you have to do to get runs, you have to make sure you do it, because in the postseason, runs are at a premium. And I think we saw that tonight. So far, this Guardians team, we made it here. We have 4 runs. We've scored 4 runs in 3 games. That's not a recipe to advance in a series, let alone the eventual goal of winning a World Series. It isn't. And I hate being that guy that's like the blunt, obvious, because I'm trying to stay positive. I am. I'm so glad we're here and it's fun. It's just, for me, I want to beat the Yankees so bad. This is one franchise that I can't stand, and every single time we get to the postseason and play them, it's like we choke. To me, It just seems like we get to Yankee Stadium and we just collapse. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I hope Shane Bieber comes out and he pitches like the Cy Young Award winner we've seen. I need it, because if you get back to Cleveland and you're down 0-2, I'm going to say it's over. If you go back to Cleveland down 0-2, I think it's over personally. I really do.
Yeah.
And you got to think too, like you talk about the bases loaded, and only scoring 4 runs. There's now multiple in both of those games these last 2 games where you scored 1, run combined. There's been multiple bases loaded with less than 2 outs. Like, and they had the one in game 2 was no outs. Right? There was the bases loaded, no outs well before the game. And I think even in the first game they had that bases loaded, no outs that they didn't score. The one that Bieber pitched in too. I just remembered that one. I was like, oh wait, I was watching the other one too. And it's just like, you don't got to go up there hitting a grand salami, but like get it out of the infield and get a sac fly. Like, because I mean, you probably had an opportunity for a couple of runs if you could have just gotten the ball out of the infield with runners and scored. I mean, you had second and before the bases are loaded, you had second and third. Then you got the bases loaded, and and it was like there's multiple. And I understand that's essentially the same opportunity, but there's some opportunities here where just getting the ball out of the end, you don't have to swing for the fences and strike out or pop it up or dribble it along for a double play. It's just play to contact, play to your game. Don't try to go home run for home run with the Yankees, because they're built to do that and you're not really. And that's fine. You don't have to be built as a home run juggernaut. I just think play your game and it'll be fine. So let's wrap this thing up. I know everybody's ready. It's getting late. So I'm going to go around the horn. We'll start with you, Roger, and we'll go to you, Tyler. How do you feel? Do you still feel good? Do you think the Guardians can win game 2? Where are you at overall as we just kind of look forward to game 2 and your confidence level?
Roger, I think you're up first.
Yeah, Roger, you
go. I'll go. Hey, if you see me on Dog Choke, Andy's got to remind me, and they got to cue me and text me. I absolutely think they can win game 2. I think Bieber's going to come out and pitch a solid game. He's the veteran. He's the leader of that staff. And I think they're going to come out swinging the bats. I think we got a chance to beat them. We weren't overmatched tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a couple bad pitches and a couple fielding errors. And Jacob, you asked earlier about, offense or defense. And in baseball, it's like you get in the dugout and you figure it out, right? You know what I mean? It's like just figure it out and do, like you said, do what got us there. Yeah, I definitely think they can beat them in New York.
I think you can beat them in New York in game 2. I think having Shane Bieber on the mound is such a huge advantage for us. I even believed going into this, I know it would have been on shorter rest. I would have personally rather pitched Bieber and McKenzie on maybe a day shorter of rest for if you're going into New York and have Quantrill pitch the first game at home.
Cleveland.
Because I was not I get why they did it. I do. I would not have pitched Quantrill tonight. That said, I think having Bieber for game 2, you can win this game. I think but you have to score more than 2 runs in this game. Yeah. You have to. I mean, so yeah. I think the Guardians are gonna win 4-3. Game 2. It's not gonna be easy. I'm staying positive, but again, Bieber's got to come out and set the tone early. Has to. Yeah. If you can contain Aaron Judge, which so far, knock on wood, they have. You contain Aaron Judge. I think you really have a chance to make this a series.
Yeah, I like the chances anytime Bieber's on the mound. So I think you guys have said it best. I think I'll leave it there. I think I've got a good feeling. We'll be back post game after game 2. Guardians win. We're giving away an homage. Win the whole effing thing shirt. So just figure it out and win the whole effing thing, man. That's the only thing left to do, guys. So we love you guys. We'll talk to you guys soon. Go Guards.
Go Guards.
Go Guards, baby.